What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. The moment we've all been waiting for, I finally picked up a bottle of Creed Aventus. It took me long enough, but yeah, so we're gonna be unboxing, reviewing it, talking about the presentation, talking about how it smells, talking about if it's worth it, and you know, the clones that are out there. I'll discuss clones with you guys, all the different clones and which ones are the best, if you are interested in the clones of them. So yeah, let's just jump into it, okay? So I picked this one up on Joma Shop recently. I'll throw a link in the description for this and all the clones, of course. But I got it for around $2.20. I just checked and it's actually $1.95 now for a 50 milliliter. So I'm a little bit pissed about that, but that's okay. So if you don't know Creed Aventus, I don't know where you've been, but Creed Aventus is probably known as one of the best men's fragrances ever made. It's very expensive also, so it's notoriously expensive. It scores a 4.35 out of 5 on Fragrantica and was released officially in 2010. So yeah, so you know, it's gonna come like this. I took the liberty of taking off the plastic for you guys. So there's nothing actually very special about the container, about the box itself and the container inside. It'll show your batch code and everything on here, and then it has this whole propaganda thing of like father to son, you know, this company was founded, you know, by a father, and then it went to his son, and then it went to his son for centuries, which is kind of cool. So yeah, so in part at least the perfumer behind this is Erwin Creed, so one of the, you know, descendants of the Creed family. So it started in 1760, the Creed company. So you open it up and then you're gonna get more propaganda. Creed 1760, and then it says de père en fils depuis 1760. It must be like from father to son since 1760. So it shows James Creed, it shows Olivier Creed, the current perfumer in Paris. So yeah, so we have that. It's on a nice thick card right there. And then we have more propaganda. We have like this freaking royal decree here talking about the history of the Creed company. So in 1760, James Henry Creed founded blah, 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 blah. Which is kind of cool, actually. I'm joking around, but it is actually kind of cool that they have sort of more of a history than a lot of these fragrance companies out there. And then let's pop it open. We actually have the container inside right here. So this is a 50 ml again. The container is nice. It's a very famous, widely known container. Once you see this, you'll never forget it. So we've all seen the container before. It has sort of a ribbed finish on the side, and then in metal it says Aventus with a man on a horse, and then it has Creed embossed over the front of it. So the cap itself is actually plastic, but there is a metal insert in there, so it has a little bit of weight to it. So real quick, if you do enjoy this kind of content and you want to see more of these videos where I kind of just take one for the team and buy something for you guys, let you guys know what the presentation and the smell is like, make sure to hit that subscribe button and throw it a like. Let me know you care, and yeah, let's continue with the video. Let's check out, and it has, of course, it has the Creed insignia on the front. Let's check out the action of this famous Creed atomizer. Very good atomizer. So, you know, they spare no expense with it. Of course, they better not. It's very expensive. And as far as strength, say what you will, people have said that it's gotten weaker, but it is quite strong. So this is a strong fragrance. I will give them that. So yeah, so the notes of this one, it's very famous for the pineapple note, but let's go through the entire perfume pyramid together. So the top notes are bergamot, black currant, apple, lemon, and pink pepper. And you get a whole lot of that, but mostly you get this metallic pineapple. They're using allyl amyl glycolate. That is just kind of a widely known fact. It's kind of reminiscent of pineapple in the tin, and then they're using dihydromercenol, which is a synthetic that is like a lavender type note, so it has sort of a harsh metallic note to it as well. But they've smoothed it out with middle notes of pineapple, patchouli, Moroccan jasmine, and then base notes of birch, musk, oak moss, and broxen and cedarwood. So some kind of woody masculine notes in the base. Longevity is pretty good. I would say moderate to long lasting, which I'm very impressed by. And then projection is moderate to strong. So I have a buddy who This is his signature scent, and he only uses one spray. I'm gonna use more when I do wear it, but yeah, you can get by with just one spray of this thing. So good projection, mostly pineapple, but then you get some of the smoky notes in there. So it is very fruity, but there's a little bit of woodiness, some smokiness in there. And as it dries down, it becomes a lot more woody and musky. So overall, the scent, it's easily maybe a 9.2, 9.3 out of 10. So notice I'm not giving it more than a 9.5. It is a very good smell, but it's not worthy of a 9.5 or even a 10 out of 10. I think a lot of that is hype and the fact that it's so dang expensive, people tend to assume that it must be better. So yeah, so overall, I'm glad I picked it up, but as far as the price point, you know, there's a lot of options out there if you're trying to go sort of the clone route. If you are going the clone route, which I would actually recommend to most people because it's a little more affordable, especially if you're trying to make this your daily wear, then there's a couple of good options out there. So let's pull them over here. We've got, of course, the most famous one, Club de Nuit Intense Man. So this has been out forever. This is by Armoth. It has sort of an infamous leaking problem with the containers, but it gets you pretty darn close. You know, it gets you 92% there maybe. It does sort of have a harsh synthetic opening, which is kind of what it's known for. So it has sort of a little bit more harshness in the opening, again, because they might have overdosed that allyl amyl glycolate, the AAG. So that's one option, 25 bucks. Usually you can pick this up for. And of course, yeah, I'm gonna throw links for these if you're interested in any of them. So I would recommend checking this out, but you know, again, it does have that harsh opening. The next one is Alt Fragrances offering. They have Executive is another solid one. So this one has kind of fixed that harsh opening problem. Presentation isn't as good for sure, and then the longevity isn't as good, I would say. Projection and longevity, it's about average instead of being quite strong with this one. They were more concerned with performance than with the quality of the smell. These guys were kind of the opposite. So another one that you can check out is from HK Perfumes. This is Dr. Sam. This one has a little bit better performance, I will say, than the Alt one, and it does still have a decent opening. It's a little bit heavy on, it's almost more aquatic on there, but it does have a good dose of the pineapple. The actual bottle itself is not as good as far as the atomizer and everything, and then the presentation is a little bit crummy. But this one is another good option if you want to check that one out, HK Perfumes. The ones that I would avoid though are like the Jean Miss. So Jean Miss does one, you can find these on like AliExpress or like Temu and stuff like that. The container looks cool. Presentation is good, but the performance, it's like they just really watered it down. So performance isn't really lacking. I wouldn't recommend wasting your money on this, especially because it just kind of takes up space on your shelves. So wouldn't recommend a lot of those ones like the Jean Miss. If you're looking for one with a higher quality presentation and everything, and it gets pretty darn close, you can always check out Michael Malul's Jet Black Intense, but this is gonna be more expensive. So it has a pressurized atomizer, which is nice. It has decent presentation. It's a little bit sweeter, so it kind of goes its own way in that regard, but it's pretty darn close. Overall, I would probably recommend either the Alt Fragrances one or the Club de Nuit Intense Man. I know that they did like a limited edition one that's a little bit smoother, so maybe you could check that out, or maybe the Dr. Sam, but I wouldn't really recommend going for like the Jean Miss or for the Michael Malul. So yeah, so overall, you know, I'm glad I picked up a bottle of it finally, because again, this is sort of my hobby, but since it's so expensive, I probably wouldn't recommend it to you guys. If you are interested, of course, you know, I would probably check out Joma Shop. They're a little bit cheaper than FragranceNet, and definitely don't buy off of Amazon because it's going to be pretty much full price. So there it is, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you personally feel like it's worth it? I remember I polled you guys the other day. I did a poll, and it was over 85% of you guys said no, Creed Aventus is not worth the price. So I'm kind of with you there. You know, I picked one up anyway just to kind of show for you guys what the presentation and everything is like, you know, anything for the channel. But yeah, overall, I would go with one of the clones. So thanks for watching. if you like this kind of content and you want to see more of these where I unbox and kind of take one for the team for you guys, you know, just make sure to subscribe and hit a like on this video, and I'll see you in the next one.